Why do people get stuck in probate? We're going to get into that next. Welcome back to the channel featuring the leading probate real estate team in all of California. I'm Brendan Mohr, Realtor and Certified Probate and Trust Specialist by the California Association of Realtors.
And I'm Bill Heyman. I'm a licensed California professional fiduciary. I'm also a registered and bonded California legal document assistant specializing in probate work, as well as I am a licensed California real estate broker.
Now, please like this video, subscribe right now. Don't overpay. Want a fast, easy, and no-cost probate service? We have a team in every county in California where we help people save thousands of dollars and eliminate headaches through our one-of-a-kind cost savings, probate administration service, and real estate listing combo. If it's in California and real estate needs to be sold, you may qualify. So reach out, even if you started probate with someone else or on your own. Our info is in the About section on this channel. We love your calls, texts, emails, and comments. Now let's get into it. Oh, it can be a sticky situation, Bill. But why do people get stuck in probate? I think one of the things, right, is it appears easy at first, but can get more complicated as you get into it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, why don't you elaborate on that a bit?
Sure, be happy to. I have my handy dandy list here of why people do get stuck in probate, or some of the major reasons. But the thing with probate is, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that it's really, really hard, but it gets complicated and frustrating because there's a ton of deadlines that occur in probate that you have to meet. And if you're not particularly good at meeting deadlines, you're going to have a rough time with the probate because there's a lot of them. And a lot of people just don't understand what these deadlines are, when they are, and how to meet them. So it makes it kind of tough. The other thing is a lot of courts have these rules. They're called local rules. And they're that particular court's own rules, which are above and beyond what I'll say the standard probate rules are, for the whole state of California. And a lot of people don't know about the local rules. They don't check them. So they get into the probate and they get stuck because there's some local rule that they didn't even know about that now the court's bringing to their attention that they're going to have to deal with. So yeah, that can get you stuck.
Now you mentioned that probate's not necessarily hard, but when you say that there's a lot in probate that once you know how to do it, it's maybe simpler. But a lot of the stuff looks foreign to people, not only from questions on the forms, petition for probate, for example, but just the terminology.
Oh yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, if you've never done a probate before, or you've never been involved in a probate before, there's going to be all kinds of words and terms that really you're just going to go, what do they mean? What is that? I have no idea. So yeah, and you can find yourself spending a lot of time going to a legal dictionary, looking up all these words and terms, just trying to understand what they mean. So yeah.
And from working with you over the years, just on the real estate side, but I've talked with a lot of families of the estate, heirs, personal representatives, the administrators, executors, and many of them that we have worked with started to do it on their own at first. Or I get lots of calls on our channels from people doing it on their own. And unfortunately, it seems like people get started and they maybe did look at the legal dictionaries and learn the terms, maybe watch some other videos on how to fill out some forms.
Right.
But what I found the most, and correct me if I'm wrong, people tend to get stuck way later in it. They think they're home free after a little bit. And then when they get to the final petition, they're trying to close the probate. Yeah. And that, from what I've seen, might actually be the hardest part.
It is, you're right. The final petition, the final paperwork to close probate is the most difficult because there's no standard form for it. You gotta basically make it up from scratch. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Absolutely correct. Definitely.
And I know another thing that can, there's creditors' claims. There's often creditors' claims. Now, what if those come up?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different ways that a creditor claim can come up in a probate. I mean, you've got the Department of Health Services, Medi-Cal claim, the state of California Franchise Tax Board, they may file a claim. You've got the deceased person may have had a bunch of credit cards they owed on, or some personal loans, or cell phone bills, all kinds of, and if they come forward and file creditors claims, man, that, if you don't know how to deal with those, it's really confusing and frustrating, because you absolutely can't close a probate unless you deal with those creditors claims one way or another. They have to be dealt with. And they're a real pain in the neck for people who are trying to do probate on their own. They just are.
What else can cause people to get stuck in probate? 'Cause there's kind of a lot.
I would say one of the big things is, before every hearing that occurs in probate, you're required to give what's called notice to all interested parties that, hey, there's going to be a probate hearing. Here's the date, the time, the place, etc. And the court is really, really a stickler about making sure that everybody who's supposed to get notice not only gets notice, but gets proper notice that what you're sending them is correct. And you have to file proof with the court that you gave notice, that it was given properly. And if one little thing is off on it when you file it, the court's going to reject it. I've seen a lot of people will file the notice and maybe they get the department number off. You know, they get the date and the time right, and it was supposed to be in department 37, and they accidentally put 36. Well, you can say, oh, well, it's just, you know, off by one number. And the courts just say, that's totally wrong. Redo it. We're going to delay this to another hearing date. So that's a big one. Big one. People often don't get the notice filed correctly. One other thing is the publication. You know, before the initial hearing, you have to publish in the newspaper a special probate notice. And if in that probate notice, because they have probate examiners that review everything before a hearing, if you didn't proofread your proof for that ad and there's one word that's off and the examiner catches it, notice is no good and you got to republish. So it's, you know, you got to really pay attention to what you're doing. Really important, really important. But all those things can get you stuck in probate.
Sounds like it can really get complicated. And the further you get into it, the more complicated it gets.
Yep.
You know what I would do? If I were in this situation and there was real estate involved, I would call us and get a no-cost probate service when there's real estate involved. With that, we help you sell. Now, this next video linked helps you decide who's going to probate your estate and helps you understand the costs involved in probate. It's called How Much Does Probate Cost in Sacramento? Now that says Sacramento in it, but it really covers all of California. It's going to be linked next. It's going to appear right over here.